I'm the big LG Doc Gallows, and you're watching the Wrestling Junkies. Boom.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Wrestling Junkies podcast. I'm Mr. Cincinnati. As always, I'm joined by the podcast dad, who's got a night on the couch here, so it is not a gimmick. Looks like you're pulling double duty tonight, huh?
I am. The podcast mom is going to see Hamilton downtown, so good for her. But is it a great show? I don't know. I've never.
It is.
Never seen
the original is on Disney Plus. If you want to check it out, it's really damn good.
I probably won't, but thank you for the recommendation.
Yeah, take your vitamins and let me know what you think.
Oh, you know me so well, Mr. Cincinnati. I might end up doing that. I didn't get my
You're welcome.
spot in there, but I'm sorry. But yes, I am here. I am sitting next to my daughter. My son is on the other side of the couch, and we are watching some videos. Hopefully they stay quiet during the night, but like you said, it's not a gimmick.
It is not. But you know what? Nonetheless, we're going to have ourselves some fun tonight. Thank you to everybody that's joined us. As always, you can find us on X and TikTok at Junkies Pod. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Junkies Pod. But most importantly, please do us a huge favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Podcast Dad. We're at 551 subscribers. Okay? We have 15 days left in 2025. So if there was ever a time for everybody to rally around the Wrestling Junkies, it's now. Tell them that magic number.
I will. You want to pull on some heartstrings? Hey, can you say one? One. Takes one person. You want to disappoint that face? Come on. Don't disappoint that face. We want to have fun here at the Wrestling Junkies podcast. Just have one person. If you like what we're doing here, subscribe. Support us as we support wrestling as a whole. Support us as a whole. Please, 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 please.
Yes, 2025 has been an incredible year for the Wrestling Junkies, and we can do that. And we can't do that without you guys. And we're trying to build this community here at the Wrestling Junkies podcast. So if you know anybody that likes what we are about, share a link, send a TikTok. I mean, we're doing that all day long anyway. I don't know about you, podcast dad, but I'm sure you're sending podcast mom funny shit all day, every day, right?
All day, every day.
That's what I do with Mr. Hugo Ramsey as well. So again, we know you're doing it. Share some videos, share some links, subscribe, tell everybody about the Wrestling Junkies podcast. Podcast Dad, real quick before we introduce our guest here, remember Progress Wrestling. Next week, we will be doing our official unboxing preview. There is no card announced for this. There will not be a card announced for this. So we are just going to riff about Progress for about an hour and hope that we're relatively right in some of our predictions that we might see at the show next week. And if last year is any indication of what we might find ourselves in for, I don't think that our predictions are all going to be correct.
No, that's fine. My predictions are usually correct, so I look forward to this show.
But how could you have perfect predictions for a card when there's no card? We don't know what's going to go down here.
Do you know who I am? Do you know who I am?
Oh my god, I've never known you to be that cocky. This is weird.
What do you mean? I've always
I'm
been
kidding.
That cocky. Bless you. I've always been that cocky, and I will be.
Excuse me for trying to softball a little bit of humility in there, but fact checkers in the house, we are back live, and some of us in living color. Fernando, always good to see you as well, my friend. Tell your friends about the Wrestling Junkies. Make sure to tell them to subscribe, and also, for the love of God, please DM us because we want to send you some free merch, man. So yeah, you know where to find us. We want to send you some t-shirts.
Come on,
right?
Come on, Fernando. We love you. Also, Main Event Network. I don't know if we mentioned. Subscribe.
We have not, but where will we be without them? If you love watch-alongs, blogs, incredible podcasts, we have a great group of guys that we work with, trivia as well. So at @mainevent_net on all social media platforms. If you've not already voted for the OTMEs, the On the Mark podcast year-end awards, do yourselves a favor and do that. I think we still need to tweet the link out, but you can follow them at Pod on the Mark and submit your votes. Year-end is looking incredible. It's been an interesting year for pro wrestling. So do your part, get those votes in.
No matter what you like. It's been
damn right. Yeah, and podcast that. I mean, at this point, looking at as we kind of look towards the end of the year, we have not necessarily announced our year-end award show yet. We know that is not out yet. Those details are coming. That'll probably be the one show that we do that entire week of New Year's and go out with a bang. I don't know about you, but I think it's time for us to kind of sit back and look at what has been an incredible 2025 for the Wrestling Junkies podcast.
I would agree. And yes, tune in to that show. Like you said, probably the only show we do that week, but it'll be a fun show.
Yes, could not have said it better myself. Also, support to our friends at TWE and Action Wrestling in the Southeast. Got a couple of incredible shows coming up there as well. You can follow them at TWE_Chattanooga and at Wrestle Action 1. Without further ado, podcast dad, I think it is time to introduce our guest for the night. It's always a good time to have a conversation with him, and he is somebody that hasn't been on the show in a while, but he's been impossible to ignore. Connor Hopkins has spent 2025 carving out his own path across the independent scene. Championships defended, miles traveled, statements made, and whether people love him or hate him, they are paying attention. And with the year winding down, we wanted to bring Connor back to talk about what 2025 has meant to him, the moments that have defined his year, and what he's setting his sights on as he heads into 2026. So without further ado, please welcome Connor Hopkins to the show. Connor, what's going on, buddy? How are you?
I am great, guys. Thank you for having me. It's good to be back.
Of course. Again, it's always a good time to have you on the show here. And like we said, it's been a hell of a year for you, and we're gonna break a little bit of that down here. First things first, when you look back on 2025 as a whole, what word best defines your year and why?
It's hard to put into a single word, but I think if I had to, I think I would call it a rebuild year. This year was it was a learning experience for me in a lot of ways. I think, when you look at the beginning of the year versus where we are now, there's a lot more progress made this year, I think, for me personally, than has been made in many years past, in my career. I would say that the last couple of years have been really great for me, but I would say that this past year really was kind of a learning experience and definitely a rebuild year for me, for sure.
I love that.
As I'm getting attacked by my child, can you give me kind of the for the audience and everybody, kind of the top 3 highlights of your year this year?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's weird to start off a highlight with a loss, but losing the Dreamwave Championship to Channing Thomas, that was I know. It's a bummer. However, I think all stuff aside, like, I think Channing is really, really excellent. I think he is fantastic, and him and Bacabella as a pairing, there's no shame in losing to them. It takes one to know one, and you know what? There are a couple of guys who are all right in my book. It takes a scumbag to know one, and I like them.
That's fair. I heard Bacabella also pleasures his wife to this podcast, so shout out.
Yeah, he said that to us directly. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, man. So I would say the stuff at Dreamwave with Channing was really awesome. Also at Dreamwave, like, capping off my feud with Christian Rose earlier this year, we had a really awesome dog collar match. We had a really great steel cage match for the Dreamwave Championship. So I would also consider that a highlight. And then, just getting to be able to visit some new places and meet some new people, wrestle some new people this year. I got to go out to Ohio for AIW. I was way up north in Thief River Falls for Destination Pro earlier this year. I got to wrestle Paul London again up there. It's been a really good year of traveling around, Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin, Illinois, now Indiana, Ohio. I got to go back to St. Louis Anarchy as part of their Mega Bowl event a few months ago. So yeah, man, it's just been like really trying to get out and about more and more this year, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, you're a road warrior, and you've kind of had you've mentioned the feud with Christian Rose and the finality of that. Your championship matches with Channing Thomas. At this stage in your career, carrying championships and having the expectations that come with being a champion. Not only that, but the miles that you travel. How does that pressure affect you at this particular stage of your career?
Dude, it's like, so if people I'm 7, almost 8 years in at this point, and I feel like at a certain point people start to expect things. They expect the bookings, they expect the opportunities, they expect to be the sought after guy. And I found myself not really being that sought after. Like I've had to kind of create a lot of my own buzz, and that's something that I work very hard on. And so, when I think of all the things that people expect out of their careers and aren't necessarily putting in the work, like sometimes you got to go and just really just show face and work hard and just show up places, man. Like it's all the miles and stuff. That's part of it. That I wish I could say that I'm special. I wish I could say that I'm some insane road warrior. I wish I could say, that I've been hitting it harder than anyone else, but I don't know that that's true. I think I have been traveling a lot, but I think that's just kind of the baseline, for what it takes to be a successful independent wrestler is like, or at least I'm always going to be critical of myself because it's like, okay, yeah, sure. I was in Cleveland on Friday and then wrestled in Illinois on Saturday. Like, that's pretty cool. That was a lot of driving. That makes me feel good. But it's like, all right, what am I doing the next weekend? What am I doing the weekend after that? Like I'll never be able to rest on my laurels and be, in a way I'm proud, of the work that I've been doing. But I definitely think that as far as like expectations and things like that, like whatever people's expectations of me are, I am trying to go above and beyond that to prove that, I'm not just some other guy on the indies.
All right. So I have to ask, Eric and I have been on the road for a couple shows and the playlist is a little crazy at times. What are you listening to on those long drives? I'm sorry.
No, good question. Good question. Cause it changes. I'm a huge music guy. My shoot job, I'm a radio DJ. So like I am listening to music 24/7. I have a playlist I switched over to Apple Music this year. Apple Music superiority over Spotify. I was a dedicated 100%. Spotify listener and I'll never go back.
100%.
Yeah. Sorry. They messed up their algorithm. I don't know what to tell them, but like, so I have this playlist on my phone. It's called The Aesthetic. And it's basically, I just sat there one day and I put every song that I could think of that matches kind of the vibe of like my wrestling gimmick or whatever, just like songs that I think my character would listen to. And it's like a 7.5 hour long playlist of just like early 2000s stuff. And like, so that has been my go-to for a while because I can shuffle that and like never run out of songs that I enjoy listening to. But also lately, I've been super into listening to albums front to back on the drive. That's like I'll ask people, hey man, give me an album to listen to. And I'll ask like 5 or 6 people and they'll just, send me albums and I'll listen to those. I think that like in my own weird, like I'm a physical media guy and I really do believe in like the sanctity of like a full piece of art, that an artist is releasing, like the full album, like tells a whole story. And so like, I've really been trying to focus on that. My sister got me on this. I'm not a huge country guy, but I do enjoy some country. There's this country artist, Zach Top, that my sister sent me an album of his recently that I listened to on the way back from Cleveland. And absolutely loved it, and found some deep cuts on there that I wouldn't have found had I not listened to the entire album. And so I think that has really, more than like playlists or anything, has really been my thing. I really came to like love Typo Negative this year. I really found an appreciation for like 9 Inch Nails discography. I've always been a Queens of the Stone Age guy, so it's no surprise that I have listened to every single Queens of the Stone Age album over and over and over again. Same with like AFI and stuff. But yeah, I've been super big into the albums lately. That's my thing.
I was saying, if you want to get crazy, listen to Ride the Lightning by Metallica.
I love that album. Fantastic. Yes. Call of Cthulhu is one of my favorite Metallica songs.
Oh, it's a great one.
Mm-hmm.
Underrated. The instrumental is underrated and a lost art.
Yes. I totally agree. Those early Metallica albums having those instrumental tracks on it. For a while, I had like this really big idea to use Anesthesia from the first Metallica album as entrance music, but I was like, I don't know how people would respond to a bass solo as entrance music.
Yeah, no, that's a great song. Sorry, I'm getting attacked, but yeah, no, that's a good one. Like it's like Gunther and John Cena. He won't let up.
Podcast ad living up to the name here.
Yeah, no, it's not it is not a gimmick, and these make for the most chaotic, unhinged episodes. I love every second of it, just because it's he's a dick to me, but
I'm glad
there's two people he doesn't play about. It's those two that he's hanging out with right now. So I absolutely love to see it.
Adorable.
But I gotta ask you about this. I'd be remiss if I didn't. A lot of your work, especially towards the end of 2025, feels sharper, darker, and a little bit more deliberate. So where's the edge coming from, and what can we expect in 2026 with it?
Yeah, man. So as Dreamwave champion, I realized I kind of found myself a little bit, and I found that, kind of to peel back the curtain a little bit, like a lot of my work specifically as a heel is very one note, I would have called it. It's very, I'm better than you, and yeah. And like, it wasn't really drawing on a lot of outside influences, that I have. And so as I was kind of like trying to figure out retooling, the character, trying to play on some things that, like I've gone through personally in my life, like this new edge is grief. It's an exploration of what grief does to a person. I've watched a lot of movies lately that like explore that. The new Frankenstein film is phenomenal, the Guillermo del Toro Frankenstein. Okay. But like I said, like I've been listening to a lot of Nine Inch Nails too, which is the Pretty Hate Machine nickname through and through. But it really is just drawing upon a lot of like the outside influences, that I have. I'm a huge like literary nerd, if you want to call it that. So I've been reading a lot more poetry. I've been reading a lot more like of Jim Morrison's poetry. Because the Doors are a favorite band of mine, and just kind of like trying to inhabit this, I don't know, I want to call it almost holier than thou position of just self-righteous like anger almost. That the world is so angry right now, and I feel like there's a way that you can harness that as a bad guy. And maybe I'm talking out of my ass just a little bit, but like I don't know, these are the things that I do when I'm traveling alone by myself and overthinking every detail of wrestling. So it's like, yeah, I'm really trying to pull from a lot of different things. But yeah, definitely I'm trying to be a little bit darker, a little bit more intense. That's been my big thing, is I want to be more intense and more aggressive.
I like it.
Yeah, you mentioned a dog collar match. What's your mindset going into that, and how was that experience at all?
The mindset going into it was very much don't die. I've had one before, and I knew that this one was going to be brutal because when you're fighting your friends, you always hit each other way harder. Mm-hmm. And when you're fighting your best friend, it gives you free license to kind of take out some of your aggressions on one another. And so, yeah, man, that match absolutely beat the hell out of me. I was a bloody mess. I was covered head to toe in bruises for weeks afterwards. Rose absolutely kicked my ass with that dog collar chain there. So, the experience, painful, really painful. I don't necessarily recommend it to anyone, especially not for your health. However, if you do need a way to really beat the crap out of someone, dog collar match works really great.
I'm about
like I said, you think what I'm thinking?
Holy shit.
All right, Connor, as we kind of wrap up here, as we look back at 2025 and look ahead to 2026, if anything, what do you want in 2026 that you were not able to obtain this year?
That's a great question. Truthfully, the first thing that comes to mind is I want to go abroad. I have my passport. I am ready to travel internationally. I would love to wrestle internationally. It was something that was supposed to happen this year and just unfortunately did not. But yeah, international dates are really something that I'm looking for in 2026. And on top of that, kind of going along with it, just more places. I want to get out on the East Coast. I want to get out on the West Coast. As much as I love the Midwest, I'm a little tired of being pigeonholed as just a Midwest guy, when I know that if you put me out on the East Coast, if you put me out on the West Coast, I would adapt and thrive just like all of the other guys from the Midwest that have adapted and thrived in the last few years. When you look at like the top indie names right now in the world, like a lot of them are from my area. Like a lot of them are from my corner of the Midwest. And it lights a little bit of a fire underneath me. I got to be honest, to like, why am I not out there doing those things? Like, I gotta up my game so that I can be more places. And so, yeah, man, as far as like 2026 is concerned, hitting it even harder. Like I want to be everywhere. I want to be so many more places. I keep telling people like I'm prioritizing bookings outside of the state of Illinois, because as much as I love the Illinois wrestling scene and as much as I believe in it, I want to go and spread the word elsewhere. And so really trying to get out there more and branch out there more and have some promising leads for the next year.
I like it. Well, fingers crossed that somehow Matt and the rest of Action TWE hear this, but we want you in the SCI tournament. So fingers crossed that can happen next summer, because it'd be fucking awesome.
Dude, and I pride myself on being a tournament wrestler who has not gotten an opportunity to prove himself just yet. And SCI has been a goal of mine basically since I started. So absolutely, I would love to be in the SCI. Like I know plenty of people who have been in it. I would feel right at home. Yeah, man, I would love to be a part.
Yeah, could not agree with you more. Connor, it's always great to have you back on. Glad we were able to get to see you before 2025 let up. We're always thinking about you, and best of luck into 2026. Give them hell, okay?
Well, thank you, guys. I really appreciate you having me on. I appreciate you checking back in. Yeah, hope to be on again soon.
Anytime. You take care.
Hey, you too. Peace.
Yeah. Thank you again to Connor Hopkins for joining us, and thank you to everybody that has tuned in tonight. As always, you can find us on X and TikTok at Junkies Pod. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Junkies Pod. But last but not least, importantly, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're at 551 subscribers. Let's get to 600 by December 31st. Podcast Dad, hit him with that magic number.
You see what I'm dealing with here? Help us get to a studio. Come on. I am being attacked. I am in a Royal Rumble as we speak. Please, dear God, subscribe to this channel so I don't have to do this from the couch anymore.
Could not have said it better myself. Yeah, seriously, we love what we're building here at the Wrestling Junkies, and we want you along for the ride. Yeah, hit subscribe. It takes 2 seconds, and we got a lot of great shows coming up. Next week, we have our official Wrestling Junkies and Progress Wrestling unboxing preview. Again, there is no card that's being announced for this show, so this is a blank canvas, and we're gonna riff a little bit next week, and hopefully come up with something that might even remotely be on the show.
I was gonna say, I think he bladed me. Jesus. Yes, no, Progress. We're excited for this. This is a unique concept for a show. Like going into a show not knowing what's going to be on it. That's kind of crazy, but
yeah,
man, we like crazy, so I'm excited.
Yes. Yeah, no, we do like a little bit of crazy around here. And coming up next, we're welcoming in two voices who truly get what this is all about here at the Wrestling Junkies. Ty P and J Star are the hosts of the 10 Count Podcast, part of the Body Slam family, and their passion for pro wrestling runs just as deep as ours. And they don't cover just WWE, TNA, AEW. They live and breathe independent wrestling, the grind, the stories, and the talent that keeps this industry moving forward. So whether it's breaking down the biggest moments in wrestling or shining a light on what's happening beyond the mainstream, these guys bring a perspective unlike any other, and it's real energy and real love for the sport. So we're excited to talk about just about everything wrestling with these guys. So without further ado, please welcome Ty P and J Star of the 10 Count Podcast. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. How the hell are you?
Dude, once again, so this is my second time being on a different show, and receiving the introduction is just incredible. I mean, I just have to go on shows now just to get the intros, because then I show my wife and she's like, "Oh, you're actually doing something." I was like, "Yeah, I am doing something." Thank you guys. That was phenomenal. Thank you.
Yeah, I was pretty hype. I mean, I had my own theme music going in my head while you're saying it. I felt like I was a bit busted through the entrance ramp. But yeah, thanks guys for having us on, Chris, Eric. I just want to say, Chris, as a new dad, I'm actually very envious of you, what was going on during the early part of that podcast, because I cannot wait to have a wrestling partner. And I was like, dude, Chris is doing an Iron Man match with his son right now, and what a legend. I loved it.
It's again, as we always say, it's not a gimmick. I'm on the couch. My two toddlers are running around like crazy. They've seemed to calm down a little bit. We're gonna knock on wood, but yeah, it's a thing. So get ready.
Yeah, I mean, my son's only one right now, so we're still crawling around. I'm still roughhousing with him, but nothing like you said, you're getting bladed over there. So
yes. You saw he had me in the hand me a guillotine. I was in an arm bar off screen. You know, it was rough, but hey, we're here right now. Actually, I'm gonna go stop a fight currently.
Wow.
Love it.
Yeah, no, this is these days make me smile whenever he's got to pull the double duty. It's funny as hell. But guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Just for our audience that may not know a lot about you guys, tell us a little bit about how you met and how the show came to be.
Ty, you want to take it away, Ty?
Yeah, I mean, Justin and I have known each other for like a billion years. We went to high school together, which was way back in the mid 2000s. Not really dating ourselves now a little bit. But yeah, we've always kept in touch. We've always, been wrestling fans. Justin snuck us into the Nassau Coliseum once because he had a security buddy. I didn't know if that was for wrestling or if it was for hockey. I can't remember. But yeah, we've gotten into a lot of messes here and there through our lives. And, as we've gotten older, we wanted to try the podcast game, especially in professional wrestling, because we love it. It's had its ups and downs. And it's been a high for us recently. So it's nice, especially as dads, to kind of take a break and bullshit about professional wrestling. So that's why we're doing this, and that's why we're here, man.
Yeah, and Ty we both had this passion for podcasting. Ty had a YouTube show, Heroes and Brews, with his other buddy. I had a hockey podcast. So, we were both doing our own things, and then those, my co-host couldn't do the hockey show anymore, so it didn't feel right doing it without him. I don't know. I think the same thing pretty much happened with Ty and his buddy. And then we just, we're like, screw it. Let's do a wrestling podcast. And we started this thing, God, 4 years ago. And, we took one break, and then we came back, and we've rebranded like 4 different times. It's ridiculous. So we're not rebranding anymore. We are officially the 10 Count, and that is it. The next time we rebrand, I'm done.
Yeah, there's no rebranding here, Eric.
No, we're in it.
You're stuck. Yeah. No, that's kind of how it was with here. It was I don't want to speak for Eric, but it was no, go Flyers, obviously. But I don't want to speak for Eric, but yeah, it was a co-host didn't want to do it anymore, and we met at a beer Olympics, and it was I whispered. Apparently, I didn't. You did
not whisper.
I didn't whisper to my wife. I was like, "That guy's got a wrestling shirt on," and then the rest is history. So.
I'm like maybe 4.5 feet away from him as this is happening. So it's like I see you, I hear you, but just got to drinking, got to talking, and I was like, hey, you want to do this? Like, just see what happens, And
and then I had kids.
Almost 3 years later.
No, you guys are doing a phenomenal job. I'm glad that you guys reached out. I'm glad we were able to, get this together, because this is a tag team matchup that's going on here, but it's more so like a war games. We decided to pick our partners, and now here we are. We're live together. It's awesome.
Yes, the New Day versus the Usos right here. Let's go.
Let's not talk about last night.
No, podcast dad. We have to talk about last night, so we're gonna talk about last night here. Okay, so
Gunther made him a bitch.
Yeah, I mean, Yeah, basically. I mean, Gunther said like what 1-2 sentences, walked out, and then just started egging everybody on. Ty, I'll start with you. Like, what did you think about this segment? And I know, let's get your thoughts on kind of how we got to Cena's retirement as a whole.
Yeah, so the segment from last night, I assume that's what they were going to do, right? Gunther was just going to egg everyone on, say his few things, saying, I made John Cena my bitch. The thing that I think about, like, long term, because I just, like, think speculations and the future and stuff, because that's what I like to do, is what does he do from here? Because if people are trying to say that, it's a CM Punk prom breaker for WrestleMania kind of thing, I think that's what people are trying to, like, speculate. If Punk retains on Netflix the 1 year reunion. So what does Gunther do? He can't go for the Intercontinental Championship. You just retired John Cena. You made the man tap out for the first time in 20 years. So that's kind of why I'm confused. So maybe Gunther does then like win the Rumble or something, and maybe he goes for a championship. But if they're promoting Cody Roman possibly, and they're going to do Braun Breaker and CM Punk, I don't know. I maybe Gunther then takes that spot. But overall, the match, it kind of made you feel, on Saturday night, like what Cena was going through, the emotions. And I heard someone talking about how, it was kind of him just riding off into the sunset, the little smile with the tap. And that kind of perspective kind of like got me. So I did hate it. I thought Cena should have passed out, the guy who's never given up, since, he's taken on this persona. But hearing that, I don't actually hate it anymore. It kind of does make sense. Like, he's been the guy, he's been Superman, he's put his body through hell in, day out for all these years and carried the company. It was his time to just like, you know what? I'm done. This is Gunther's time.
Yeah, Jason, how about you, man?
I'm kind of with Ty right now. So after sitting through it and watching it, seeing the smile and the tap at that point, I had people texting me out of the woodworks, dude, out of the woodwork saying, I can't believe I tuned into that. Like, I can't believe that's how they finished that match. And I said, like, listen, Triple H got a lot of flack. Yeah. And in the end, don't you think Cena called that match? Cena wanted to go out. Cena wanted to tap. Cena wanted to give up. Like, that was all Cena's call. That was not Triple H. So at first I didn't like it, but now taking 2 days to really take it in, if that's what Cena wanted to do, then how can you be mad? Like that's the ultimate thing there for me is if that's what Cena wanted, then you should, just take it in for what it was, because the match was great. I enjoyed the hell out of that match up until the end, but if that's the way he wanted to go out, then just enjoy it and embrace it. And people were, texting me like, oh, I can't believe they didn't have this guy come out or this guy come out. Or I was like, listen, you don't want to take away from John Cena. It's literally his last match. Just embrace it and enjoy it. And that's what I tried to do.
Yeah, it's so tough for people. I was genuinely shocked at how many people were that upset with Triple H and to the point of chanting AEW after the show and kind of just taking away from the moment that we saw. Like I personally I was more upset about how Obafemi did not win than I was about John Cena in that finish, because we know Cena, the entire show was built out of wanting to promote and inspire the next generation and this next wave of talent, because he's done. So why not take that opportunity to take a guy like Gunther, give everything to him that he can be set up for a dominant 2026, considering 2025 until the last 6 weeks was terrible in my opinion. But they've turned Gunther into a stone cold killer, and that's what people are going to pay to see him get beat now.
Yeah, but now you have to think people are out there, and I forget who said it, but someone did say like, oh, just get ready for next year when Gunther's the one retiring literally everyone. Like, it's got to be like, there's the legend killer Randy Orton, but now there's just Gunther who's coming to retire your ass. Like, I'm going to come retire you and make you tap. Like, if Jericho,
he's literally the final boss.
Yeah. If Jericho does come into WWE and he does his whole year retirement, guarantee you it's going to be Gunther that makes him tap. AJ Styles is his last year next year. Gunther's probably going to make him tap and retire. Like, that's that's where they have to go now with Gunther, in my opinion.
Yeah, you need the villain. You need the villain to root against.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. Like, he's getting heat. That's the point of wrestling, in my opinion, is you want that big bad guy and you want to see him lose. And now it's up to them to create a mega babyface to beat this huge villain that has now retired all of our heroes, especially Eric's and Goldberg.
Why the drive-by? Yeah.
Could you see
I'll
them possibly having Gunther retire Brock Lesnar? I know they said that, I think Brock might be going to, I think Minneapolis is that SummerSlam next year? I know Brock Lesnar doesn't have much time left. Could we see Gunther retire Brock Lesnar in this capacity? Like that?
Please.
That might be pretty epic. I don't know.
Please. He doesn't belong in this era. Please.
I mean, I'm all aboard for that one. Sign me up tomorrow. I'm there for that.
Yeah. That would be seismic. I mean, I saw a video on TikTok today. I think somebody was only able to find 5 times that Cena tapped throughout his entire career.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a single one for Brock Lesnar, I don't think. I mean, I don't even think he tapped Angle or even Benoit.
And I know how we're making Gunther the ultimate heel right now by retiring and making Cena tap. But if he does end up being Lesnar's final opponent, he might go from ultimate heel to ultimate babyface in the matter of like a week. If that ever does happen, whenever that starts, Gunther is going to be the biggest babyface I've ever seen in my life.
And I want to talk about Eric, what you said about Oba and Cody, man, because that was a bummer. I feel like they copped out big time because, again, like you said, they're promoting the next generation of talent. Why not have Drew cause a distraction and have Oba take advantage and win? Like, who cares? You can even have Oba win clean. The dude is a beast. He is a force to be reckoned with. And I want to see that man on the main roster like he did on Saturday night. And I know there was a comment before that said, Drew and Oba would do great on NXT as a feud. I would love that. But poor Drew McIntyre, man, that dude's been on the bad end of the stick for the past year. So who knows if he could survive that, but it would be entertaining as hell.
Yeah, and kind of what I point out is the ripple effect of this match as a whole is, first of all, they said that these were exhibition matches. That was the advertisement for these. So Cody Rhodes, because it's an exhibition match, is not hurt by this loss, even if Drew interferes. You still get to set up the continuation of that program. Obafemi doesn't look great because, again, here's your first chance to showcase him to a worldwide audience who's tuning in for John Cena's final match and will watch every single second leading up to that match. And third, Ricky Saints got sacrificed twice. First to TNA in the showdown 4-on-4 that they did, and then losing the title back to Obafemi, who didn't necessarily need this run in the first place, except to make him look even more credible to Cody Rhodes, even though Cody Rhodes won by a disqualification. It
was awful. Say it. It was awful. It was awful booking.
Yeah.
They didn't have the cojones. I'll keep it a little child friendly because my children are around, but they didn't have the cojones to pull the trigger and do what they needed to do, make a star. Cody wouldn't have been hurt in the loss at all. It just didn't make any sense. And now Drew looks like a lamed up challenger again.
Yep.
Like, I can't believe that Drew McIntyre is going to win anything moving forward when this happens every single time. And then they announce on Raw, he's going to pick the stipulation. Okay. Is he going to win? No. So what's the point? Like, I don't care. Let's just get to the Rumble.
Yeah. And Ty and myself, when we were previewing Saturday Night Main Event, we both agreed that, we want to see Oba win. We wanted a shock factor moment. Cena was preaching how he wanted the future to be showcased on this show. And yeah, sure, like Sol Ruka beat Bayley in a great match. But after that first match, man, you kind of knew that it was just going to be like, there was going to be nothing crazy. Like they couldn't pull the trigger. You get, Cody winning by disqualification. All you had to do was just have Drew pop his head in and just distract Cody for even a second. You did not need him to get physical, did not need him to get involved. just a slight distraction. Oba pulls off his finisher, 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring. And even that would have been better than what we got.
Yeah. Yeah, very much. I mean, you could have even had Drew hit Cody with the Claymore, count out win, but Oba being Oba gets irate, much like he did in this with the disqualification of what the hell you're doing. At least it still goes down as a win for him. And again, it was an exhibition match. So it all comes out in the wash as not counting anyway. But they played it safe and
meant
didn't work.
Nothing. It literally meant nothing. That was the entire point. It was a showcase match. It meant nothing. It wouldn't have hurt either man to lose. But WWE does this. They want to make everybody look strong. Who's Obafemi's next challenger?
Off the top of my head, I would. Oof.
Tony D?
Is it going to be Ricky again? It can't be, right?
No, it can't be. It can't be because you just destroyed anything that you did with Ricky because you just lost to TNA and Obafemi again.
Well, I think that they're teasing possibly the triple threat with Javon and Ricky, and that might be the way to get the title off of Oba, but that'd be sacrificing Ricky for a third. No, but putting the title on, I know, but I think they did that just because, again, they wanted to be able to say WWE champion versus NXT champion, and I don't know. I don't know.
Then why even take it off him? There's just no point. It's short-term booking for long-term games. That's all it was.
Yeah, and I thought once I saw the heel turn from Ricky, I thought, all right, maybe that's his call up to the main roster. That's him under the mask, and we're going to get a heel Ricky Saints with the Vision, which in my mind, I thought that kind of made sense, but clearly that's not what happened. We got the reveal on Monday night, which was Austin Theory. I just feel like there's no current direction right now. And it's, I'm hoping within the week, we get some direction, but right now there's not much.
Are you surprised about this reveal?
No.
I'm not surprised by who it was. Am I surprised that they did it last night on Raw? I thought since they've already gone twice with not revealing him, I thought maybe they might hold out a little bit longer, but hey, I mean, I guess they wanted to pull the trigger and that's what we got. I mean, everyone was expecting Austin Theory, so
yeah, I'll tell you, he did get me right. So when he had the mask down a little bit, he was all shaved and buzzed. I'm like, all right, maybe that's not Austin Theory. He's all buzzed up, but then nope. All right, I was like, you got me for a second. I have a question for you guys. Do you think the Division's now a bit too crowded? Because I feel like 4 people now is just a little too much. I think if they decide to maybe toss Logan to the side, but I do like a minute, man. I have to say he's giving me a nice breath of fresh air in the Division. He adds a different commodity to it, a different personality to the Division that I kind of like, especially his interactions with Paul Heyman. But I feel like if anything, they should just dump his ass to the curb and just have Austin Theory, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed.
Yeah, but if you do that, then they become the biggest babyface group in the company. That's the problem. You should have never added him to the Vision. That's the issue. It's because everybody doesn't like him, and now if you turn on him, they're a babyface group.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I didn't even think about that. I think the 4 I think that's just the right number. And to Chris's point first, I'll say, Logan being in the Vision, it's kind of a, do we really need it? No, but one of your biggest criticisms has been Logan Paul not being on TV every week. He's now at the forefront of a major storyline on Raw every single week that not only has this built-in clash with CM Punk coming, he's mixing it up with Rey Mysterio, and Seth Rollins is likely going to be back by WrestleMania, so he's got Mania plans already built in now, which is something we don't necessarily normally get from him until the Rumble.
But I will say, I think you've kind of jumped the shark with that already, right?
Sure.
He had his opportunity. I think it's faded. Me personally, if you were going to do this every week and do it fully committed, you had your chance when you had the United States Championship and you didn't do it. So now I'm like, yes, my criticism was you not being there every week. Now I don't want you there every week. So
for me, And actually, I can probably speak for Ty as well. We agreed with you that, you know, once he had that United States title, we wanted to see more of him, and we didn't get. So, like, if he had the title now, I'd be completely happy because we're seeing him every single week on TV. And goddamn, he's a good wrestler. He is a good professional wrestler. He
100%.
If they need him in a spot, they're sending him, and they trust him full bore. You know, Roman, Cody, Seth, I think, whoever else he's been in the ring with one-on-one, he's delivered. So I'm there for it. I'm there for it. I enjoy seeing Logan on TV weekly. I've been wanting this for a while, especially ever since he said he was a full-time wrestler now. And that's when he won the United States title, and he was barely on. So, I mean, now he's here. I'm enjoying what's going on. And I just don't want the Vision to turn into like the NWO Wolfpack with like 30 different members.
As a wise man once said, fool me once, shame on you. You can't fool me again.
Well, let me ask you guys this, and podcast dad, I'll start this one with you. If this does not work out for Austin Theory, is this kind of the end of the line for him creatively? If we kind of hit that breaking point, if this doesn't work?
Yes. He had the stink of being, and McIntyre had the same thing, right? Of being the chosen one by BKM. Like, if this is, they repackaged him, he has all the potential in the world. He has the look. I think he can wrestle. I think he can cut a promo. If this isn't it, like, you might just have to go away for a while, like Drew did, and just go reinvent yourself, go do your thing. And that's not the worst thing in the world. But yes, if this iteration of Austin Theory doesn't work, I don't know if there's a future for him right now. He's young enough to go away, come back, and maybe recreate that. But yeah, if this doesn't work, then red flags are all the way up.
Ty, what do you say?
Yeah, I haven't been the biggest fan of Austin Theory. He is great in the ring. It just nothing he's done has really caught my attention. The whole selfie thing threw me for a loop. I thought it was like Tyler Breeze kind of on crack that he was trying to do. But yeah, I think he has a shot right now to really make a name for himself. But in my eyes, with the Vision, Braun Breaker's obviously the forefront, and Logan's like that personality that's kind of taking attention. Bronson Reed's kind of that big muscle guy. So then how does Austin really fit in? He's going to have to do something different with his character, with his personality, to set him differently from the other three. And the other three are significantly over as heels with the crowd. So, just running in with a hood and stomping on people isn't necessarily going to get you over. So it's really do or die the next week and the weeks coming up to see how he, kind of transforms himself as a character in the Vision.
And yeah, Ty just hit it on the head for me. Yeah, I'm curious to see where this character development now goes. Obviously, he pulled off the mask and he had a super serious face on. He looked like he was all about it. There's no jokes, no playing around anymore. So I'm curious to see how aggressive they get with him and to see where he kind of fits in with the Vision. I mean, placing him with the Vision, I think, is a good call. He's had a past with Paul Heyman, prior to, he was like, when he was the Evolve champion back in the day, Paul Heyman announced him. So I'm curious to see, just like, obviously Paul Heyman knows who he's been. Like he played stupid, but we know who he was. And I'm just curious to see how they introduce him now that we know he's the guy.
Yeah, I mean, we see the promos that Braun Breaker has cut over the last couple of weeks, and that's obviously under the guidance of Paul Heyman as well. I mean, if even a fraction of that is what we get with Austin Theory, I still think that's significantly better than anything that we've seen him do, over the last couple of years. He got the WrestleMania moment with A-Town Down Under and the tag titles, but no real follow-up, it just seemed like he was just kind of spinning his wheels, and this is a chance to do something just all kinds of crazy with him. So I'm intrigued.
I mean, CM Punk said it best on his promo last night. He said Paul Heyman's taking some guys under his wing that just fluttered out. And so there's some people that Paul Heyman can influence and send to the moon, but there's other, like, look what happened with Curtis Axel. I mean, couldn't really get going. So it's really going to be in his court for this one, that ball. So I am really curious to see how this pans out.
And I got to see what happens with the first interaction with Austin Theory and Grayson. Obviously, Grayson has kind of jumped under with the New Day, and now we have Austin Theory back. The tension was there. Everyone wanted Austin to, become a babyface and turn on Grayson Waller. We never got that.
Yeah.
Now that he's back, that story is not finished. So they're on the same show. We need an interaction between those two to really figure out what the hell's going on there too.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Cincinnati, I love you guys.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could stay on, but it is time for
That's
bed.
all right.
I'm going to go put these twins down. Want you guys back on so I can actually have a full-fledged conversation. We would love to be on, but love you guys. Subscribe to everybody here because wrestling is fun. We want to create a positive environment, and what we saw Saturday was not that positive environment that we need. So be good, be safe, be nice. Love you guys.
Thanks, man.
Adios, podcast. Man, talk about living the gimmick. Shout out to the podcast dad for always hopping on when he can. It's been a busy night for him, but I will always give the podcast dad his flowers for what he does for the podcast.
No, well, I mean, I couldn't do it. No. I couldn't do it. I mean, I have, thank God my wife, she's upstairs with my son right now. I get my time right now. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to focus. I just wouldn't be able to do it. So shout out to him, dude. That's unreal.
Yeah, seriously.
Facts. Yeah, no, definitely takes some grit for sure. But a couple more things I want to hit on last night's Monday Night Raw here, and I know we got NXT coming up in a little bit. Maxine Dupree defending the Women's Intercontinental Championship against Ivy Nile. I have to say I was pleasantly surprised. We've been seeing kind of the slow burn of this edge to Maxine that we've never really seen from her as a character. So, J-Star, I'm going to start with you. What did you think of the match and kind of what they're doing to shape Maxine as she carries the mid-card title right now?
New look. Love the look. I love the black attire. I thought it looked great. She looked great. There's been not jokes, but people have commented on her wrestling skills and they haven't been up to par. But she's been in the dungeon with Natty, TJ, and you can see it's paying off. I thought that match was great. I know Ivy and Maxine have had a history already, so that kind of fit flawlessly for me. I'm excited to see what happens, man. She loves the ankle lock, and we'll see if that turns out to, be her new finisher. But hey, one hell of a performance, especially after the past 2 weeks of those promos with the low key and Natty and Maxine in the dungeon. So I'm hoping this just continues to build. I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah, good for her, man. I mean, she really is putting in that work, and I'm glad that they're putting that championship on a Maxine, a mid-card wrestler, and because they can help showcase this. And like Justin said, perfect first defense with Ivy Nile. Shout out to the Creed brothers. It's the first time I've seen them in, I don't even know, a year.
Seriously.
But I miss that. Like, we get all this, El Grande Americano stuff now post Chad. I think he's still injured, but I kind of miss that faction. But besides the point, heading back to Maxine, she's someone that they have faith in, that they trust, that's putting in the work. And you need to have faith in people sometimes. You need to pull the trigger. You need to, not cop out like they did with the the Cody Oba match. So for me, I'm happy they're doing this. It's really getting her, her experience in. The best way to get better is to be in the forefront, to be the champion, to have Becky Lynch still carrying a feud by herself against Maxine on social media saying, I am I got my lawyers ready. I'm going to the Lakers game with my lawyer because we need it to stop. It's fun because Maxine can defend this championship. Becky, who is a legend herself, can promote this one-sided feud until ultimately when they come back to fight each other, and it's going to be gold. And Maxine's going to be that much better the next time her and Becky fight. So I'm just very ecstatic that WWE made that decision to put their trust in someone on that mid-card area and give that championship, that lift that it needs to some superstars.
1,000,000%. It's from what we're seeing, the progress is good, and it might still be too early to say this when it's all said and done. But the best example that I'm getting of this transformation that we've seen in Maxine is what we saw with Trish in 2000, 2001, going into 2002. Of for whatever reason, something just kind of clicked to where she's finding herself to be much more confident in what she's doing in the ring, and even in those early days of, yes, we're seeing the improvement. We see her working. She's being put in the ring with talent around her that can continue to accentuate the positives and hide the weaknesses that she's still working on. That way, when she does kind of put it all together, she's ready to soar. And I mean, she can absolutely be that to the mid-card division, especially if we continue to develop her character and one that gives her a little bit of an edge, not necessarily a mean streak, but to at least feel like she's holding her own in the ring, and especially if she's starting to tap people out as far as going over.
Which is awesome. That's a great way to have her go over. And, she hit, the lowest of lows back when she made that first Rumble appearance. And I think the first match after that, and people crapped all over her. And, for her to survive that and get uplifted by her, her teammates, the fellow superstars around, is great. And if she survives that, she can handle anything. And, I think she brushed it off because I think the Monday night after, Ivy Nile talked it right into her face and she handled it. Right. So I think Maxine's got tough skin. I don't think she's worried about what the internet's saying about her. And I think she took that as gas and lit it on fire. And we're seeing what we're seeing right now.
Yeah, I hit it right on the head, dude. And there's more to this. So obviously we're seeing this more aggressive side of Maxine, but we still are also going to now, I'm hoping we're going to get the low-key legend Natty. We're not going to have Natalya anymore, which I've been asking for a while. Once I saw that Natty character get debuted on Bloodsport and then in AAA, I was like, oh, there's something here. And then, Natty kind of showed her face at NXT. It was Natty. And then, comes back on Raw and it was Natalya against Becky Lynch. I was like, what is this? Like, I don't want Natalya anymore. We want the low-key legend Natty, and we're going to get the low-key legend Natty. So that's still to come from whatever is going on right now at Maxine as well.
Yeah, and it's going to be so fucking awesome when it does happen, because that's a character I didn't even think that she was capable of doing. We kind of see the Total Divas kind of remnants of what's left of that character of Natalya, and that's I think because we were so exposed in that era of reality shows and kind of what we'd see behind the scenes of people. There's no way that I would have thought that this is a side of her that even existed, but I'm so glad that it does, because given her pedigree, given the prestige and history and lineage that her family has, and what she has done in WWE over the last almost 20 years at this point, let's let her go on a little legend run where she is just absolutely ripping people limb from limb. I mean, she's got 20 years of frustration that she can use in promos and things of that nature that just, talk about somebody that can run that mid card and find herself contender for world titles if you do it right.
Yeah, pull that trigger. Let me listen to this man over here, right there. Listen to him. And you talk about shedding that Total Diva skin. That's that's something that she didn't do for a while, and that's why we didn't see much from her. And even kind of segueing into Nikki Bella shedding that Total Diva skin. When she first came back, that's all I saw. Justin and I spoke numerous times. It was just she didn't fit the mold of what we're doing. We're on a playing field of these women wrestlers who kick ass and bleed and want to win championships, and she wasn't up to par with that. So seeing Nikki Bella do what she was doing originally was boring. But now when we see Monday night, I'm happy for that. Light that fire, make her heel. Make her beat people up. I think she needs that because that skin, that Total Diva skin that you mentioned, needs to be shed. And I think we're going to start to see that after what we saw on Monday night.
Yeah. And to the Nikki Bella point, I'm with you, Ty. I agree that I'm happy that we're seeing this more ruthless side of Nikki, this more pissed off side of Nikki, this heel side of Nikki. That, I mean, heel Nikki was a legend years ago, but I like that she attacked both Stephanie and Raquel. It wasn't just Stephanie.
Mm-hmm.
So she was letting out frustration. She stood over Stephanie Vaquer. But for me, I don't know what else I need, but I still don't believe that she can take the title off of Stephanie Vaquer. Maybe that's just, I don't think anyone can take the title off of Stephanie Vaquer, but I still need more from Nikki. So I'm hoping in the coming weeks that's what we get. But right now, like I still just I don't believe it.
Yeah, and we're kind of at a unique time when it comes to the women's world title and the contenders around them right now, because we have transitioned Rhea, Io, Asuka, even Kairi over to the tag team division. So they are finding new names for Stephanie to mix it up with and keeping these women as far away from her as possible, because there's a lot of money in all of those matches. Liv Morgan's another, great example as well. She's still kind of waiting in the wings as well. I agree that, we need to see more out of Nikki. I think turning her heel is a phenomenal start to that, because she's always much better as a heel. She's never been the greatest wrestler to me, in my opinion. That doesn't mean that she can't hold her own in the ring, but I like the idea of this particular challenge of a potentially triple threat for Stephanie. This is just another one of those, additional building blocks to what is going to be an awesome championship history in her career if she stays healthy. And having a triple threat like this, I think, is perfect.
Yeah, 100%. And I want to know your guys' opinion on Liv Morgan. Is she going to let Raquel try for that, or is she going to try some underhanded stuff to get back to that women's championship? Well, women's world championship.
For you know how I feel. I think Liv Morgan's a sneaky person. She's got something up her sleeve. I don't know whether it's with Roxanne or Raquel or both. Liv Morgan can't be trusted. She's a loose cannon.
Yeah, the words "accidentally on purpose" come to mind. If there is a triple threat or some scenario where Raquel gets another opportunity at the title, we've seen the side eyes and the looks, towards the camera that they're not seeing. I mean, Liv plays that so well, and those are the little things that are going to make the difference in kind of how this all breaks down between these three.
Yeah, and as much as the Judgment Day can be a family, they do love to screw each other over a bunch too. So
yes.
I can't wait to see how that plays out.
Seriously. Let's get the chats here. What's more likely? Liv Morgan win the world title.
Oh man. I mean, obviously Liv Morgan.
Come on, Justin, hold up that title right there. So some pride, man.
Justin, if it's any consolation, man.
I mean, I'm not going to cut a promo on you, Nick, but listen, you're a Devils fan. Jack Hughes, hold on. I'm sorry that we're going off the rails here. I'm sorry.
Nope, let's do it.
Nick in the chat, you're a Devils fan. Have Jack Hughes stay healthy, all right? Come on, guy. Jack Hughes just got hurt cutting his own damn steak, okay? Your Devils are in Your Devils, I mean, hey, Brett Pesci came back. Great. Love it. But man, oh man, your Devils are not in a good spot either. And where's Quinn Hughes? Oh, he's in Minnesota. He ain't in New Jersey. Sorry. Love you, Nick. Thanks for tuning in.
Dude, that Cincy belt is sick, dude. I've seen it online, but in person, man. Well, not, I guess, through the interwebs, that thing is awesome.
Yeah, no, I love the colors on that belt. That belt is nasty.
I love it, but it has brought me no luck in the 3 seasons that I've had it.
Ditto.
Yeah, nope. I'm just, man, it's. And I went to the Super Bowl in LA, and that was the best weekend of my life. And man, just what I wouldn't give for a taste of going back there one more time, but not anytime soon.
You know, I'll tell you what, these belts actually might be curses, because I got my belt last Thanksgiving for Black Friday. And then the whole team quit. The Rangers quit last year. And it was the worst thing I've ever watched on ice. And now the same thing is happening. This team can't win at home and they can win on the road. So this belt might be on eBay, unfortunately, now that I'm thinking about it.
I'm a Jets fan. I don't have a belt and they suck. So I don't think it's the belt.
My condolences, seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a Jets fan too, so I mean that sucks. At least I got the Knicks tonight. Go Knicks.
There you go. Guys, as we kind of look towards wrapping up here, I'm just going to pull up what we've got for NXT tonight. We've got a fatal four-way match to determine the number one contender at New Year's Evil. Joe Hendry, Dion Lennox, Miles Bourne, and Leon Slater. J-Star, Leon Slater has been taking the fuck over WWE, and how fucking awesome is this to see?
It's unbelievable, and it's never been more clear as to who WWE is trying to snipe away from TNA with the contract coming up. I don't know when Leon Slater's contract ends, but it went Jordan Grace, Joe Hendry, and now Leon Slater, buddy, learn WWE because you're up next. I mean, it's unbelievable. The dude is phenomenal. Ty and I saw him live when we went and covered Slammiversary at the UBS Arena. So he's unreal. And I actually saw him when I covered House of Glory as well. So I've seen Leon a few times live, and the dude is just as talented live as he is on TV. Unfortunately, I don't see him winning anything WWE-wise until that contract is signed. So, I mean, tonight, a lot of people are saying, you know, it might be Dion, but I think it might be Joe Hendry.
Yeah, first off, Nick, shout out to you as a fellow Jets fan. I agree with you. John Cena can never quit as bad as the Jets. Dude, freaking preach. Sidebar back to NXT and the New Year's Evil number one contender. Yeah, I think, you know, Dion is a good contender. I think Hendry's a good contender. I wouldn't count Miles out. And honestly, dude, Leon Slater, especially with that tag match, Saturday night main event, dude, that was my favorite match of the night. I mean, John Cena and Gunther was great, but just the electricity they brought, the fun of that match, it was, they tore the house down. I think they see the potential in the big potential in Leon Slater, and why not? Well, you know, the fans loved him, especially the core fans, the main WWE fans loved him at Saturday Night Main Event. I mean, why not? I mean, I think it would be a great chance to have a TNA guy fight for the title. You know, give back a little bit. We've seen NXT run rampant on TNA. We've seen it recently too with the International Championship, I think, right?
Yeah.
So why not? I don't know. I'm on board with all four. I think Dion makes the most sense because we saw that interaction between him and Oba, and we kind of teased that. So I think maybe that's the route they probably go.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Joe Hendry seemed like the easy choice for sure, especially going into New Year's Evil. But I do like the idea of Dion Lennox mostly because Dark State really needs a leader. Like the Freebird rule has worked for the tag team run, at least, you know, mildly anyway. But this is a chance for him to stand out and show what he's capable of, and that he's able to lead this group, because, you know, I think a lot of our fan theories of a leader later being revealed, like a Trick Williams or a Ricky Saints or, you know, Wesley when he was still there. But now, you know, here is the chance to kind of define what and who this group is going into 2026. We just didn't get this year.
Yeah, and with Dion had that moment backstage with Oba. So for that reason, I do believe like Dion will I mean, I would love to see Joe Hendry, but I do think it actually might be Dion tonight just because of that interaction that Oba had with Dion backstage. I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago.
I like that. It's definitely going to be a hell of a show for sure, especially coming off the heels of the John Cena Saturday night's main event with Sol Ruki getting a big win. So can't wait to see what's next for her. But gentlemen, I think we're going to call it a day here. It was an absolute pleasure to have you both on. Before we let you go, where can everybody find you on social media? Where can they check you out?
Yeah. So you have at Ty's tag is at TLP_maximum. I'm at JStar02 on X. And then all of our socials are at the 10 count pod. I heard how many subscribers you have on YouTube. I've been begging for just 100 subscribers. So hopefully we can get a little closer to 100 after this show. We're live every Wednesday at 7 p.m. I know
Sometimes
you're also
Thursday.
live. Yeah, but what?
Sometimes on a Thursday. If Wednesday
Yeah,
doesn't
sometimes
work
you know,
out.
hey, we're dads. We try to make what happen. We make what happen. You know what. We try to make whatever work. And then Sundays we have the quick count. So Sunday afternoons we do the quick count, which is just quick 30-minute episode, just kind of recapping the week. And then obviously we have the 10 count Wednesday or Thursday night live on Twitter, on YouTube, on everywhere you can find it, live streaming.
And shout out to Nick on YouTube, man.
Yeah. Hey, Nick. Yeah. Sorry for, you went there and I had to go at you devils, and that's the fun of it. That's the fun of it. I love it all.
No, thanks, Nick. You can check his show out Friday nights at 6 Eastern at Nick Teodoro on YouTube. Gentlemen, thank you so much. And thank you to everybody that joined me tonight. Again, X and TikTok at Junkies Pod. Like us on Facebook at Wrestling Junkies Pod on Instagram, but just tell one person, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We will be back tomorrow night. We're going to break down NXT. We're going to look at AEW Dynamite and just kind of get ready for the end of the year and our look back. So thank you to everybody that was able to join me. J-Star, Ty, stick around for a second after the credits here. But this has been the Wrestling Junkies Podcast. And